Hi, this is James Headley. Welcome back to the Living in Savannah channel. In today's episode, I'm going to share some suggested questions that you may wish to consider before purchasing a home here in the Landings in order to help you to identify which parts of or part of this coastal island might just suit you best. Before doing so, you should keep in mind a couple of overarching caveats. Number one, if inventory levels remain anywhere near where they have been, and currently are, you may not find exactly what you're looking for where you ideally want to look anytime soon. So as with many newcomers to Skidaway, you might need to ask yourself what trade-offs you're willing to make, or put a little bit differently, what relative value do you place on enjoying the Landings lifestyle versus checking all those home wish list boxes. And then caveat number two, keep in mind that we aren't talking about a huge community here. You can get from just about any point A to point B on a golf cart in a reasonable amount of time. So weighting one area over another is all relative. So just keep that in mind. As always, I appreciate you liking, subscribing, and sharing, and I hope that with those caveats out of the way, these suggestions will be helpful to you as you consider a purchase here in the Landings. Number one, how do you expect to spend your free time? Just some examples here, but if you're a boater, say, you may want to focus closer to either Landings Harbor or Delagal marinas. Or if you're an avid pickleballer or bocce player, maybe you want to start looking near the Franklin Creek complex as a first point. Number two, what's important to you in your home? Privacy, the quiet area, the view, etc. Just a few thoughts there. If you're looking for the privacy and a more quiet setting, you're probably not going to want to be directly on Landings Way, for example, although sections of Landings Way are going to be quieter than some areas just off of Landings Way or on some of our other busier streets, like perhaps West Cross in the Oak Ridge area. So we can get into more specifics around that, but really identifying what's most important to you is going to help us to really hone in on those areas that are going to be of the most interest. Brings us to number three, and that is, how often will you be leaving the island? Oak Ridge, Franklin Creek, or something close to the village exit from Deer Creek are probably a few better options than, say, the southern end of Palmetto, if you plan to be venturing into Savannah for work or play on a daily basis. Again, relative, keep in mind that relativity here. It might be an extra 10 minutes to get off the island from one section versus another. Number four, if you have any experience with the golf courses here, do you have a favorite? So many people come here for the golf with the great membership option and 6 wonderful golf courses, championship caliber golf courses. While you're likely to be playing all of those courses fairly regularly across tournaments and your play groups, etc., if you live in Deer Creek and you plan to play Palmetto or Terrapin Point most often, just know that you'll be spending some time in your golf cart making that trek, or vice versa if you're going from Palmetto over to Deer Creek, as again, just one example. That's number five, and that's maybe even a small consideration, but maybe a large consideration. What kind of food do you like? If you plan to be partaking of the fare at one of the various clubhouses here, if you may want to consider that as you're thinking about what area of the island to live on. For example, if your tastes run more toward the seafood, being close to the Deer Creek Coastal Grill might be a little bit more preferable than being on one of the further stretches away from Deer Creek. Again, maybe perhaps south end of Palmetto. However, if you're on that south end of Palmetto, you're close to the Palmetto Clubhouse. You're very close to Finjan if your tastes run to sushi and noodles, or to Southern Table for barbecue and good Southern home cooking comfort food fare. Just as another couple of examples there. Please don't hesitate to reach out anytime to start a discussion about what's most important to you, and we could talk about some of these questions and your answers to them, as well as other factors that will come into play that might push us in one direction or another in helping to identify the right home for you here in the Landings. Until then, thanks again for tuning in, liking, subscribing, and sharing, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next episode.